Welcome to another edition of GSC's Digital Network Update Show presented by Florida's Space Coast. Remember, you can head to visitspacecoast.com to learn more about a vacation to remember.
This is JJ Sanders, defensive end at Florida Tech. Be sure to watch the Panthers play live this Saturday on ESPN3 and watch the ESPN app.
Welcome to the Gulf South Conference's weekly update show, edition number 2 here in the fall. I'm Jim Cavall. Let's focus again on the Gridiron. So much going on in the Premier League of all Division II. As week 2 of the Gulf South Conference's football slate included 4 more non-conference victories and the debut of the 2015 Florida Space Coast GSC TV ESPN3 package. The conference flipped the switch on the 11th season of its GSC TV Game of the Week, with number 13 nationally ranked North Alabama hosting future league member Mississippi College this past Saturday evening. More than 12,000 fans showed up at Brawley Municipal Stadium to watch MC's first visit to Florence since 1994. The Choctaws entered the fourth quarter trailing by 7 points, but UNA owned the fourth period, led by running back Lamonte Thompson, who ran for 106 yards in the final 15 minutes of the game. Meanwhile, West Alabama opened the week moving to 2-0 on the year thanks to a 34-8 home decision over NAIA Cumberland out of Tennessee. UWA could not find traction in the first half, trailing 8-7 going into the locker room. But then the Tigers owned the second half, outscoring CC 24-0 in the second stanza to win the ballgame. Number 10, nationally ranked Delta State hosted number 18 Texas A&M Commerce. They combined for over 1,000 yards of total offense in DSU's 51-44 come-from-behind win. The Statesmen found themselves down by 7 points with less than 5 minutes left to play. They put together back-to-back scoring drives, capping off the game with a game-winning touchdown with 1:09 remaining in the ballgame. Number 3 nationally ranked West Georgia recorded its second consecutive triumph over an in-region non-conference team, opening up its home schedule via a 33-7 win over SIAC member Miles. Running back Aaron McCall led the Wolves' rushing attack, becoming the first freshman in school history to begin his career with 100-yard rushing efforts. For the second consecutive season, number 14 Valdosta State and Winston-Salem State face off on neutral ground in the Cobb County Clash. VSU shook off a slow start in the first quarter to blow past the Rams by scoring 31 unanswered points in the final 3 periods en route to a 31-3 victory. Shorter began its streak of 4 straight road games, going to South Atlantic Conference foe Carson Newman. The Hawks and Eagles both recorded TDs in the first 15 minutes, but SU could not find the end zone again, allowing Carson Newman to notch a 20-7 decision. And finally, Florida Tech hit the road for the first time this year, facing NCAA FCS member Southeastern Louisiana. FIT battled its way to a 17-14 lead to start the final frame, but the Panthers could not withstand 9 turnovers and 3 defensive touchdowns by SLU in a 28-17 setback. So much going on as we crank up the gridiron action in the Gulf South Conference here in 2015. Also, so much to come when it comes to GSC men's and women's soccer, GSC women's volleyball, and GSC men's and women's cross country. You're going to see highlights, news, notes, stats, standings, and more in the weeks to come right here on the Gulf South Conference's weekly update editions. Until next time, and for everybody at the Gulf South Conference, I'm Jim Cavall, and you've been watching GSC's weekly sports update show.
I'm Lee Mayhall, wide receiver at the University of North Alabama. Watch the Lions live this Saturday on ESPN3 and the Watch ESPN app.
A reminder that this week's edition of GSC's Digital Network Update Show is provided by Florida's Space Coast. You can find them on the web at visitspacecoast.com to learn more about a vacation to remember. We'd like to thank our friends at Florida's Space Coast for presenting each week's update on the GSC Digital Network. And until next time, I'm Jim Cavell, and this has been your GSC Digital Network Update.